Hello, happy Wednesday, hump day. Welcome into Let's Bet It. It's going to be a fun one. Lauren Jbara here with Alex Glaze. Alex, how are we feeling this morning? We had the AL Wild Card game last night. We got Thursday night football tomorrow. Feeling good, feeling excited.
It's the best time of year, man. I mean, we got playoff baseball, football, basketball starting up. I mean, it's just there's so much going on. It's great.
I love it. Okay, also another thing in October, Halloween is
Yes,
at the
yes,
end of
yes,
this
yes,
month. So before we get
yes.
into our sports, what are you dressing up as this year? And is it still acceptable to dress up as an adult for Halloween?
Absolutely. I mean, you got to go to the bars dressed up, right? Like, I think that's. I mean,
Absolutely.
that's a thing. I actually was just talking to some of my friends about this the other day. Have you watched Squid Game?
I have not seen it, but everyone has been
Okay.
telling me I need to get on the Squid Game game. Squid Game game?
Yeah. Squid Game. First of all, you need to watch Squid Game. So we're thinking of like a group costume and doing
Okay.
Squid Game. That's kind of what we're thinking right now. But what is it, the sixth? Plenty of time to flush that. But right now, Squid Game, the leader of the pack. What about you?
I love it. Okay, so my thing is every single year I dress up as something like very original, but also
Mm.
very ugly. So last year I was Juicy Jan. I dressed up as an old lady. Ordered like a curly wig from Amazon. I had big glasses, or this like ugly striped turtleneck, and I had like a cane and like mom jeans, like full on. I had Velcro shoes. I went all out. Then the year before, I know. The year before that, I was Joe Dirt. I bought a mullet
Oh, nice,
wig
nice.
and I'll send you pictures. And I had like the mustache and I truly looked just like Joe Dirt.
Oh,
But
that's
I love it
incredible.
because I like when no one can recognize who I am on Halloween.
You
Like
want to be
show up to a bar.
incognito.
Exactly. Be with all my friends and everyone's like, who's this chick? Oh yeah, that's Lauren. So I'm trying to decide. I might go back to the redneck vibe, Joe Dirt vibe this year. I still have my wolf shirt from Walmart that has just a giant wolf face on it. And I still have my jorts, my jean shorts. I bought a pair of like weird Walmart jeans and cut them into jorts. So we'll see. Maybe that will make an appearance again this
The
year. I
the
thought
thing
that
I
was
will say the thing I will say about girls that dress up like that, those are usually the girls that have the most fun, and I like or they are the most fun, like the best personality. So I mean, it's pretty
oh
pretty
my
pretty fitting
gosh.
for you. Yeah.
Hey, thank you. Thank you. And actually, I've never had so much fun as the time I dressed up as Joe Dirt. Cause I was like going up to people, I'm like, what's up? Hey, what's going on? And like it was awesome. It was like you were pretending to be someone else. It was amazing. Amazing.
Yeah.
All right. A lot to talk about today. We got college football review from this past weekend, what to look out for heading into week 6 this weekend. And the one week that Notre Dame doesn't win, we actually do a show together. So we'll have a
I
little bit
wonder
of
what we're
fun
gonna talk
talking about
about.
that. I wonder. I really do. We got the MLB Wild Card talk. We had the AL Wild Card game last night. NL Wild Card game is happening tonight. And then we can't end without our Pickswise play of the day. So without further review, let's get it. Further ado, let's get it. Let's bet it. Alex, college football review. I know you're a big CFB guy. A lot
Yeah.
happened this past weekend. Take a look at some of the top ranked teams. We got Iowa and Penn State this weekend. And it's the first time that these top, or they're both in the top 4 heading into this weekend, which is
Yeah.
really, really crazy. Hawkeye fans basically in uncharted territory. And something I didn't expect heading into this season was that they're going to be ranked 3rd. So, what are you expecting from them this weekend? And what have you seen from them so far over these last 5 weeks?
I'm expecting a lot of defense, and I've seen a lot of defense. I mean, listen, we're going to talk later about Georgia's defense, as we should. I mean, they're one of the nastiest defenses, if not the nastiest defense in the country.
Mhm.
But this Iowa defense is leading the nation right now in turnover differential. I mean, 12 interceptions, 4 fumble recoveries. They have just been forcing so many turnovers
So
that the
good.
offense doesn't really have to do much, right? I mean,
Mhm.
when your defense is that good, you don't have to ask your offense to do a lot. Now, this weekend is going to be interesting because while Iowa has forced a ton of turnovers, Penn State doesn't turn the ball over. They only have 3 turnovers all season. So it's going to be really interesting to see how that shakes out. I am right now probably leaning toward Penn State just because I am going to believe offense. It's tough to say on the road.
Mhm.
See how Clifford is gonna do on the road, but right now I'm leaning Penn State. But the sure bet for me for this game is the under. I mean, both of these defenses are just so good.
So
I'm just
good.
gonna go with Penn State on the lean for the game, just because I trust their offense a little bit more. But even with the number at 41.5 right
Yeah.
now, and it being so low, I still think it's gonna go under.
I'll give you some Penn State stats right now, just to maybe make you think a little bit more about it. Penn State is 1-15 against top 5 opponents dating back to 2000. They only had one win since 2000 against a top 5 team, and that was against number 2 Ohio State in 2016. They also haven't beaten a top 5 team on the road since they took down Michigan. And guess what year? 1994. So it's been quite a while since Penn State has made an impact against a top 5 team, especially on the road.
Well,
So
here's the
it's
thing,
going to
'cause
be an
this
interesting one.
yeah, for sure, but here's the thing, I mean, we'll talk we're gonna talk about so much, but we're gonna talk about Cincinnati and how they got up for that game, which was like their Super Bowl, right? Like, this for Penn
Mhm.
State, if you want to prove you're a playoff team, and obviously the Big Ten champion is going to get in. But if you want to prove that you're for real, this is where you do it, right? This is the
Yeah.
stage where you prove it. And I think that right now, I think Penn State's for real. I just trust them a little bit more just for their because their offense a little bit more. They have a good defense,
Jared
so I
will,
don't know.
yeah, Jared will love you saying that too. So he's
No,
probably
Jared's gonna say
loving.
no. Jared's gonna say no. I don't want to talk about it. I don't. No, no, no. I don't want to.
Yeah,
No.
I don't even want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I just want to sit there and watch the game. But I'm really excited. It sets up a showdown between the Hawkeyes and the Nittany Lions. And it's the first time that top 5 teams are meeting in Connect Stadium since 1985. And the matchup will also be the first time in the Big Ten featuring a pair of top 5 teams without either Ohio State or Michigan since
Oh, wow.
1962, which is pretty
Wow.
crazy. It's going to be a really, really exciting game. Looking forward to that one on Saturday. All right. I want
Absolutely.
to get into this Oregon loss to Stanford on Saturday because this was a huge shock to everybody. No one was expecting it. Oregon had a horrid start to the game. And in the second half, the defense kind of settled in, shut the door on Stanford. But at the same time, you can't get off to a slow start like that, which they basically have been each one of the last 5 weeks. I mean, I think they had one good start over the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, it's been kind of rough for Oregon, but I think that loss, I mean, let's talk about this for a little bit. I think that loss
Yeah,
probably takes them out of the playoff picture, right? I mean, unless some crazy things
for the
happen,
most
I don't
part.
think I don't think the Pac-12 gets a team in now, right? I
Hmm.
think that was probably the big
That was their
takeaway for
chance.
me.
Yeah.
That was their I mean, they just that's it for the Pac-12. I mean, obviously crazy things happen in college football, but right now, in my mind, when I'm thinking playoff, and maybe this is a little premature, if we get an undefeated Alabama and undefeated Georgia in the SEC championship game, both of those teams are going to get in the playoff, regardless of how that game shakes out.
Totally.
I think we're going to get a Big Ten champion in just because of how well the Big Ten has been playing. I mean, we still have Ohio State in the mix. They're still there. I mean, obviously, we have Iowa and Penn State also in the top 5 right now. So I think the Big Ten is going to get a team in. And then I know you don't want to hear this, but I think Cincinnati's going to get in. I
Hmm.
think this is the year where Cincy can get in. I mean, you look at their schedule; they're already sitting what, fifth right now,
Yeah.
and I believe SMU, who is currently ranked, I think 24th. That's the only other ranked opponent on their schedule. So if they just don't have to, if they don't mess up, and obviously crazy things happen, I think that they're in the driver's seat for one of those 4 spots too. What do you think?
I agree with you. And honestly, I mean, it sucks. Like, I'm a big Notre Dame fan, and it was really hard seeing them lose against Cincinnati. I was so hyped for that game because that was like Notre Dame Super Bowl. We were talking about Super Bowl college football games, and they just didn't perform. I mean, at the same time, Jack Cohn was obviously not playing to his standards because he was playing hurt. But at the same time, they looked really good. Cincinnati looked really good, and as we can transition to that game if we want, because
Yeah,
I
I want to
I
ask you a
I
question. I want to
obviously,
ask you a question real quick.
yes.
Has Brian Kelly been playing the wrong quarterback?
I don't know. I don't have an answer to that question for you. I
Okay.
don't think I've seen enough of Drew Pine to be able to make it to be able to really feel like I'm making a solid decision on that.
Okay.
I don't dislike Jack Cohn. I don't. I think that, I mean, he got hurt in the Wisconsin game. I don't think that
Sure.
he was probably at 100% for the time that he played against Cincinnati, but at the same time, like, I think I need to see a little bit more of Drew Pine before making a decision on who should be the starting quarterback for that. But I do look at Notre Dame, and I know you've been a little down on them this season, all right? But at the same time, they're still 4-1. And they ended a 4-year long home unbeaten streak. They haven't lost at home in 4 years. So that's something you really can't take away from them. They lost to a Cincinnati team, but Cincinnati is a really, really strong team this season without very many weak spots, to be
It's the
honest with you.
first good team they've played this year.
What about Wisconsin, Alex? What about
Wisconsin?
Wisconsin?
Come on. I mean, listen, like in the beginning of the season, like that Penn State win at Wisconsin looked like a big win, right?
Yeah.
Now you're looking at that's nothing. I mean, come on. I mean, that's the first big game Notre Dame has been in, and they are who I thought they were. I mean, they're not a bad team. They're just not. They're not a playoff team. They don't deserve to be in that top 10, top 5 playoff. Like, no, it's over now. It's over. Sorry.
I mean, it's over for Oregon. It's probably over for Notre Dame at this point. But you know what? I'm still all about my Fighting Irish, and I'm looking forward to seeing them in here playing in Week 6. I can't even wait. But yeah, Cincinnati's
so who do you
really
got
good
this
team.
weekend? Because right now Virginia Tech, it's like a pick 'em right now. So who do you got this
I
weekend?
know. I honestly haven't placed a bet on this game yet, but I'll probably end up taking Notre Dame money line just because I love the money line bets. I love them.
Sure.
I love them.
Okay.
And I love my Notre Dame Fighting Irish. That's honestly maybe not a smart bet, but at the same time, it's like my heart bet. Not smart bet, but heart bet. You know what I mean?
Sometimes you got to go with what's in the heart. Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely. I know. I want to talk a little bit too about Georgia playing against Arkansas this last weekend because I've really been on the Woo Pig Suey train. They got absolutely crushed, shut out, 37-0. And people were talking about Georgia's defense being extremely good. Well, we saw it all season, but now we've really seen why against a team like Arkansas and what they were able to do. What did you think about that game? And what do you think about Arkansas? Big goose egg on the board.
Yeah, so I'm with you with Arkansas early in the season. I mean, I took them they were plus 175 2 weeks ago against Texas A&M, and obviously they cashed that. So going into this, I think maybe Arkansas was a little overhyped because I think Texas A&M is a little overrated personally. That game was interesting to me. Sorry. Sorry.
Oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time. So I'm glad it's someone else this time.
No, yeah, it rarely happens to me. But no, it was interesting to me just because of how dominant Georgia looked, not only defensively. I mean, I think that anyone who's been paying attention to Georgia and college football in general just knows how good and how elite that Georgia defense is. But on offense, I think I was surprised to see Arkansas with the 3 down linemen just continue to just get pounded by the run. I mean, Georgia was playing with a backup quarterback and you didn't even notice because he only threw 11 passes. You know, they just ran the ball down Arkansas's throat. So I was really surprised more so at how dominant their offense looked with Stetson Bennett at quarterback. I'm going to get more into that later, but I mean, the big takeaway obviously is that Georgia's defense is elite, and if you are thinking about fading Georgia, I mean, I think they're going to be double-digit favorites probably in every game for the rest of the season. You really have to consider, like, is whatever team you're going to bet on even going to score 10 plus points, right? Like, because that's how good this Georgia defense is. I think they've only given up 1 offensive touchdown all season long. It's just, I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean, I look at Arkansas and throughout the season so far, they've averaged a little over 260 yards, rushing yards per game. Well, they were only able to gain 75 yards on the ground against Georgia, which was pretty incredible too. So if you look at Georgia offensively, they were incredibly solid in that game. Defensively, I mean, they've been playing like they have been all season. It's going to be exciting to watch Georgia down the stretch. All right, I want to talk about your best bet heading into this weekend with college football. What's like the one bet that you're like, yes, I locked this in, I'm ready to go, I like this?
Georgia under. I mean, just kind of to stay with the theme here, Georgia Auburn under 46.5. And that is not a big number by any stretch, and it's kind of risky right now because we don't really know what's going on with Georgia's quarterback situation. JT Daniels has been practicing, was doing some soft throws yesterday, but when you look at how Georgia was able to attack Arkansas offensively last week, if Stetson Bennett is playing, right, he only needed to throw 11 passes and Georgia was dominant, right, because they were able to run the ball. Even if JT is able to come back because he's dealing with a lat injury, which is obviously not ideal for a quarterback, but even if he is asked to come back, like I don't think that Georgia's going to ask him to do too much too soon because, you know, you got to think big picture. They got bigger plans than just, you know, winning at Auburn. They're just, you know, they just need to get out of there with a win to keep all their goals in front of them, right? The thing that's going to be interesting, though, Auburn's rush defense is one of the best in the country. I mean, they know how to stop the run on defense. So I just see this being kind of like a back and forth defensive kind of game because I mean Bo Nix for all he was able to do at LSU with that Bo Nix magic, ain't gonna be no Bo
Mhm.
Nix magic against Georgia's defense. So right now I'm rolling with the under just because I think this is
Yeah.
just gonna be just a classic SEC defensive battle. I could see that going that way.
I like it. You're betting a lot of unders heading into this weekend. That's gonna be
I
exciting.
bet I'm an
Have you
under
sitting on the
better.
edge of your seat?
No. I'm an under better because I like torturing myself. I don't. I root against fun and just want to just sit there and just hate points and
No fun to
so.
be had for Alex Glaze. Absolutely 0 fun. No fun at all. Okay, this
What's your
might
best
come as
bet?
a
Yeah.
yeah, this might come as a surprise to you, but I am betting Michigan laying 3 against Nebraska this weekend. I look at the simulations and Michigan wins in more than 60% of them. They're 5-0 with a 4-1 mark against the spread this season, and they put together what I thought last weekend was one of their most complete performances. They
Yeah.
blew out Wisconsin on the road. I have a lot more trust now after that. Heading into that Wisconsin game, I'm like, I don't necessarily know if I love Cade McNamara under center, but at the same time, I saw what he was able to do against Wisconsin. He threw for almost 200 yards. He looked
Look fun.
solid. Yeah, he looked. I mean, that's the thing. It's like I don't need him to overperform. I just need him to be solid and not make mistakes. Just be consistent, be solid. That's all we need out of Cade McNamara. And I liked what he did against Wisconsin. Heading into this week, I know Nebraska is also 4-1 against the spread, and they've shown improvement over the last couple of weeks. But at the same time, like you said about Notre Dame, they haven't shown that they can beat a top opponent, in which I
Yeah.
think my Michigan Wolverines are a top opponent. So I'm standing strong
I
on
agree.
that. I like Michigan laying 3 against Nebraska. It's going to be exciting. Week 6, college football. It's almost here, baby. I can't even wait.
I like that pick. The only thing that kind of makes me feel weird about that is that 3. Like, why is that only 3? I just don't.
I don't
What is
know.
our? That's a weird number for me because I don't think Arkansas has done anything to earn any respect, right? So I think Michigan
Nebraska?
is a good team. Or Nebraska, excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
What did I say? What did I say?
Arkansas.
Nebraska, Arkansas.
you're
No,
still you're still thinking about
still thinking
Arkansas.
SEC. Still thinking SEC. But no, I don't think Nebraska has done anything to earn respect. Michigan is a good team, so I'm just interested why that
Yeah.
number's 3. But I like the pick.
Yeah. We'll see what happens. We'll see if the line moves at all heading into Saturday.
Yeah.
Who knows? I locked it in at -3, but we'll see what happens with it. All right, now we talked a lot about college football. Week 6 is upon us. It's going to be exciting to see how that line moves for the Michigan game or if it moves at all. But I
Yeah.
want to talk a little bit about Major League Baseball because last night it was a huge shock, huge surprise, a surprise, if you will. Boston Red Sox ended up beating the New York Yankees 6-2, something that no one really expected. I mean, I bet the Yankees money line last night and they definitely didn't come through. It was one night, one game, winner take all to go up against the Rays in the next round. And I don't know what stood out to you about this one because Boston didn't trail the entire game.
Well, a couple things stood out. I'll start with the obvious here. Big picture. I mean, Garrett Cole was brought to New York to win that game, right? Like that's
Mhm.
why you bring in Garrett Cole, a one game playoff series. That's what you need him to perform in, and he only gives you 6 outs. I mean, that's just brutal. So obviously,
Yeah.
he didn't bring his best stuff last night, and
Two
that's not.
homers in the first 3 innings.
I mean, that's just not ideal. But I mean, beyond that, 'cause it's easy to pile on Garrett Cole right now, but
Mhm.
that Yankees offense also didn't really give him much support. And I don't necessarily like, yeah, the offense could have done more, but also just playing at Fenway Park and the way Fenway played last night just really played to the Red Sox advantage. I mean, the Green Monster saved 2 home runs, like that would have been
It
home
is
runs in
crazy.
almost half the other ballparks in the country.
Yeah,
I
what was
mean,
it like 11 or 12 ballparks that it would have been a home run in, right?
It's just I mean, so I don't want to let the Yankees offense off the hook completely, but also just I think Fenway was being Fenway last night. So it was just everything was just going the Red Sox way. And I mean, Nate Eovaldi, great last night. 8 strikeouts, 5 1/3 innings, 1 earned run. I mean, he was just dealing. So it just everything went Boston's way last night.
Yeah, the Red Sox now moving on to the ALDS against the Tampa Bay Rays. And I looked at the World Series odds. The Giants are still in the lead. They're playing tonight. Well, or not the Giants, sorry. The Dodgers are playing tonight.
Dodgers.
The
Yeah.
Dot Oh, Oh my gosh. Dodgers are still in the lead at plus 390. They're playing tonight in the NL Wild Card game against the Cardinals. And then the Red Sox, they're now plus 850 to win the World Series. So it's going to be really exciting if you want to get them at a good value, maybe
I mean,
get in
that's
on them
crazy that
now.
the Dodgers still have the best odds
They're
and they're
still the
playing the wild
favorites.
card.
I
That's
know,
crazy.
but I like the Cardinals though, and we'll get to it during my
Do
play of the
you?
day. But
Okay, yeah.
right now,
Okay.
the Cardinals are plus 2,000 to win the World Series. I know it's a long shot. I've always rooted for the underdogs. Why stop now? I mean, the Cardinals are hot heading into the right part of the season. And I was all over their money lines basically for the last like 2 weeks or so. And it's been treating me pretty well. So I've been loving the Cardinals. So let's get into tonight then. The NL Wild Card game, Cardinals going up against the Dodgers, who are still the World Series favorites. And both teams have been on a tear to get to this point right now.
Yeah.
The Cardinals, less than a week ago, 17 game winning streak, 17 games. That's absolutely incredible. That's 2.5 weeks of nothing but winning. That has to feel good, and that has to do something for the confidence inside the clubhouse. And I think
Absolutely.
that one benefit of two hot teams like this meeting right now is that it's going to be a really high quality of baseball. I'm excited for this one tonight.
Well, you know what neutralizes confidence? Going against Max Scherzer. I mean, that tends to bring you back down to earth a little bit. I mean,
That's true.
I mean, so I want to get into this because obviously Wainwright's good, but just Scherzer's on a completely different level, and he had two not so Scherzer-like outings to end the season, right?
Mhm.
But I mean, the last time he faced the Cardinals, I mean, what did he throw? Over 100 pitches,
You know
13
what I mean.
strikes or 13 strikeouts. I mean, just dealing, just nasty, nasty stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
tonight I'm rolling with the Dodgers. We'll get into that later. So I mean,
Mhm.
what's with us? We got beef. We just like we always
I know,
clash.
Alex. Honestly, I can't with you right now. I just cannot. No, I'm
Listen, but
kidding. But it is going to be a. Oh
the
no, you go
Dodgers have the
first.
best run differential in baseball. I mean, there's a
Yeah.
reason why they're the favorites. I mean, the Giants obviously have done something that has never been done before. But I mean, this is the best second place team ever. Like the Dodgers are a
Yeah.
really really good team. So I'm gonna roll with them tonight.
Yeah, if someone told me, and I was saying this to Jared too yesterday, that the Giants would be winning the NL West with 107 wins, a franchise record season long, whatever win percentage. That was not even a sentence, but it's totally fine. You know what I'm trying to say. But
Yeah,
if
yeah,
someone were to bet me that at the beginning of the season, I would have been like, take a hike,
yeah.
dude, because
Ex-
there's no chance that the Giants are going to be above the Dodgers and the Padres. And if someone told me the Padres weren't going to be in the postseason this year, I would have been like, you're kidding me.
Insane,
Dodgers,
right?
Padres, it's a lock. You know what I mean? So it's just really, really crazy. It's the Giants have had their foot on the gas all season long. And you thought at some point the foot was going to lift a little bit. It hasn't. They've been going like 150 miles an hour cruising all season long. But yeah, tonight's going to be a really exciting pitching battle. I look at Wainwright, started 32 games this season as a 3.05 ERA. So it is going to be good. And I said anything can happen in a single game setting like this. Like on paper, the Dodgers have everything working in their favor, right? They have home field advantage. They have the pitching matchup, overall team quality. And I don't know. Even then, their chances of winning
One
are
game playoff.
probably
It's a one
somewhere.
game playoff.
Yeah, their chances of winning are probably in the 55-60% range, but it shouldn't surprise anyone if the Cardinals pull out the victory. Let's get into the Pickswise play of the day. First of all, before we get into our picks, what is your 3-star, or what is the Pickswise 3-star pick of the day? What's the best bet?
Okay, well, we are going to golf, and our guy Steve Palmer's on Scotty Scheffler plus
Ooh.
2,200 to win the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open. Scheffler has been threatening to break through for 2 years now, and our guy Steve thinks that this is going to be where he does it. TPC Summerlin is set up well for him, and Steve believes that this will be the chance for him to finally get his hands on some PGA Tour software. So Scotty Scheffler plus 2,200, the third best odds to win the Shriners Hospitals for Children Open, is our Pickswise 3-star play of the day.
Ooh, I like it. We'll also let all of you Pickswise Nation vote on this every single week. Follow Pickswise on Twitter to take part. Now, from the golf course, we head to the park again because we are talking about our best bets of the day, and we're talking about the NL Wild Card game. Alex, hit me with yours first. I'll hit you with mine, and then we'll see tomorrow who has the better bet, because I have a feeling I know what yours is.
I'm going Dodgers run line though. So I'm gonna, I'm gonna spot you 1.5 runs just because I don't need them. So I'm gonna spot them for you. Listen, Scherzer 11-0 in Scherzer starts. I mean, I know that pitcher that wins aren't a stat for pitchers necessarily, but just throwing that out there. Dodgers loaded offensively, and at the end of the day, look, I trust Max Scherzer. The offenses are probably even. Like, I mean, maybe a slight edge to the Dodgers, but in this spot, I think that I'm going to lean on my pitcher. And as our friend Nick Gallardi, or Galadia, excuse me, says on Pickswise.com, only 3 of the last 16 MLB wild card games have ended with a 1-run margin of victory.
Ooh.
So I'm going to roll with the Dodgers run line tonight.
I like that, but at the same time, I don't like that because I'm taking the Cardinals money line. I feel like the Cardinals are red hot right now. They are ready to go. They had that 17-game win streak, and money line right now for the Cardinals is plus 188. I know the Dodgers are obviously still the favorites to win the World Series, but at the same time, as I was saying a little bit earlier, anything can happen. Yeah, the Dodgers do have everything on paper that's going to be like, yeah, they're moving on to the next round. But you saw last night what the Red Sox were able to do against the Yankees. It's one game, one night, single elimination. Anything can happen. The Dodgers do have home field advantage. They have a pitching matchup. Max Scherzer looking fire right now. They have the overall team quality working in their favor, and their chances of winning, like I said, are probably 60%. But guess what? It's not 100%. So you're saying there's a chance. Yes, that's what I'm saying, my friend. There is a chance for the Cardinals to make a move here, to make a statement, and to show that they can be here, that they deserve to be here. It wasn't just a fluke, them going on that 17-game win streak. And it wouldn't be a surprise to me because I love the underdog. I love the money line bets. I love finding value. I have the Cardinals money line at plus 188. Let's go. I am also putting a few bucks down on the Cardinals winning the World Series right now because those are the best odds that you could get. Cardinals World Series future plus 2,000. Why not? Why the hell not? You know what? So I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with the St. Louis Cardinals, baby. Let's go.
So you're gonna have 2 bets die.
Was that too dramatic?
I mean, no. I mean, you're just gonna have 2 bets die tonight. I mean, that's all that means. So
hey, it's okay. It's all right. You know what? I have a good feeling about it. You know what, Alex? Anything can happen. I'll be texting you a little bit later, and we'll see tomorrow.
Okay.
Who's the winner of
We'll
this
see.
one?
We'll see.
It's going to be fun. Going to be exciting. That's it for us today. Find us on the Pickswise YouTube channel. Go to Pickswise.com. Follow us on Twitter. For Alex Glaze, the Laser. I'm Lauren Jbara. I don't have a fun nickname for myself. Happy betting tonight. We'll see you tomorrow. Thursday night football tomorrow. Let's get it. Let's bet.